Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. Right here, trying to make a run towards that 67.5 resistance range for Bitcoin. Potentially going to pull back. There's a lot of reasons why I feel like this being a positive continuous uptrend is somewhat of a fake out here for us. I think they're trying to trap some late longs, pull the price down on people. Again, I just kind of has that feeling. I could be totally off, but my spidey senses are tingling. A lot of that hinges on the fact that we have way too high a delta here for Bitcoin. I'll go ahead and pull up that chart here for you in a minute. And while we're waiting, just want to say thanks again for everyone who's been liking the videos, commenting below. Appreciate that very, very much. And to those trolls who thumbs down because I say the price is going to go down, it's really just a technical analysis. There's a lot of reasons why it should and it shouldn't, right? So we're just going to look at everything abstractly here today to make sure we understand, make an informed decision. You do got to recognize too, to preface, all the technical data is telling us price is going to go up. But there's a lot of little things in the back end that may actually kind of accumulate and effectively give us that reversal. I'm not trying to say you should short or long. I'm pretty much saying stay out of the woods right now and just let Bitcoin do its thing before you take a trade. But that's me personally just being a little bit more conservative. So let's take a look on the left-hand side. We got a 7-day forecast here, or sorry, look back rather, for liquidation. We can see upwards about 69,000. There is a little chunk, maybe about 10 to 20 billion between 68.5 and 69.5. I'm very much paraphrasing there, haven't added it up, but you can see kind of an accumulation. We zoom out and then of course in, you can see a little more clear. Each one of these bars is 5 to 7 billion, so we got a lot of liquidation at that range, probably even more so along the lines about 40 to 50 billion if you do kind of take a little bit larger of a time frame. Again, that kind of goes back to, what is this, October 16th. So basically in the last 24 to 48 hours, we've seen a pretty solid chunk of people shorting. So that leads me to believe that we could see the price wake up one more time, but it also leads me to believe that we're finally starting to hit our top and there's more reason to pull back. And the reason why I think that, let's go and refresh this here, is because this delta is way too high. There is literally somewhere in the range of $8 to $9 billion in longs in the last 5 days versus the previous time frame. In other words, granted, we have a lot of liquidation at the top, but we also have a lot of reasons why we have way too many longs in the market, and market makers can see that. And this is kind of, we're starting to see that backload here where there's a lot and too many longs. And me personally, when I see that, that makes me concerned. Usually when that delta gets really, really high for too long, which we've seen it there pretty much maxed out for the last 24 hours, there's a solid chance we're going to see the price action pull back. At the very least, just some kind of candle wick down to destroy these late longs. That's really just the bottom line. So it's not a guarantee the price isn't going to just drop to like 50,000 tomorrow or even in the next month. But the truth is, a bit of a pullback, somewhat of a shift in momentum would make sense at this point, just because we've been respecting this ascending trend line for a while, and it's definitely time to change that up. So let's take a look here, just to clarify, and we'll jump into the daily time frame here in a second. But we got this 4-hour time frame. We're above the 20-day SMA, running concurrent with that ascending trend line. We got a nice little bounce or pivot off of that trend, and the price is retesting and trying to break free. So if Bitcoin doesn't break free from this range, then I think that we're more likely to see the price pull back. We are also starting to create a bullish type of pattern here. And generally when you see this, you can construe this as a positive sign to the upside. Okay, so generally speaking, when we have these kind of levels, it's usually a positive sign letting us know that the price action could very well break up just because it derived from the downside. So the longer we stay in this range, the better, so that way Bitcoin can pull up. But what I really want to see is that delta come down while the price remains range bound. That would be phenomenal. Anyways, you can't always get what you want, but that is something that I like to look for. So at this point here, let's go ahead and take a look at the daily and just kind of work our way down. So again, when I drew my playout chart here from yesterday, just to give you perspective, the general consensus is that the price will either bounce off this ascending trend, which it has, or we pull back down to this next range, if you will, between 64,500, that's kind of a round number there, upwards to 66,000. So I think 64.5 to 66K would be an inevitability if we lose this current range that we're in right now. So just know that's kind of where we're at. So taking a look here at the daily time frame, we're above all moving averages, obviously a very bullish sign. We can see stochastic is starting to swing down here or diverge. That's usually a shift in momentum or kind of just kind of giving us a heads up that, hey, we're reaching our tentative top. We shouldn't go much further without overextension. We're also topping out at 70 on the RSI, another key factor to me, letting us know that unless the price breaks free from this range soon, we're probably going to see that RSI taper off we may remain in the range or break free from it. But the likelihood of breaking up without breaking up soon is becoming lower. In other words, we just got some resistances above us. Those indicators need to cool down before we have another leg up. That's exactly why consolidation and retracement is a very healthy and normal thing in trading. People seem to think that parabolic behavior is awesome and the price just needs to go up forever. When it goes up, it must come down. You've seen pumps and dumps. It happens all the time. Bitcoin is no exception. So 4-hour time frame. We want to look here at some important stuff. Of course, we've already identified the ascending trend here with the 20-day SMA. All of the moving averages are below the price action, so still, again, very bullish scenario, okay? So you generally don't want to short into that. And I know you're probably scratching your head right now. Wait a minute, this guy's telling me not to take a long or take a short. What the hell is wrong with this guy? What is right with this guy? Honestly, that is really the question you need to ask, because the truth is you have to be patient in trading in order to find good entries. I think taking a long at the top makes very little sense, and shorting into a bullish uptrend also doesn't make any sense. We got to wait for it to kind of pick a side, and it hasn't done that yet. Anyways, we can see RSI here kind of rejecting tentatively off of 70. Money flow index is increasing. That's a natural reaction to seeing that those previous candlesticks kind of dropping off. We can also see that MACD is diverging here, kind of letting us know momentum on the downside is still continuing. While we're over the zero line here on a trend strength indication, we still have some momentum that's kind of shifting. So all that having said, it doesn't mean we're going to drop like a rock, and it doesn't mean we're going to shoot to the moon, right? We're kind of in this natural transition, and people just got to understand that. It's kind of humorous to me that I got the most amount of thumbs down yesterday because of telling people not to trade. I also told people, according to my ACP video, that you shouldn't consider a long, and it's recommended to take a short. And what do you know? Price action is breaking down, losing its bear flag pattern, and I saw a lot of hate for that too. So it's just kind of funny and humorous to me that this stuff actually happens, where people are acting on emotion and they're not acting on, basically what we see here in the charts. These are just signs telling us what's going on. They're not always foolproof, they're not always exact, but I think the best thing you could do for yourself right now is to not get over leveraged and to effectively just be the best trader you can be by making sound financial decisions and not doing everything everyone tells you to do, right? You should never listen to me, honestly. You should learn what you can so you can make your own decisions. But the truth is, if I tell you not to trade and you trade anyways, that's up to you, that's okay. You'll probably find some success. You flip a coin, you'll get right half the time. But the truth here is that this is not like a conducive situation to short by any stretch. And taking a long here near the top, even though we keep retesting this resistance range and the likelihood of breaking to the upside is higher, it still seems like a pretty big gamble to me, okay? Anyways, we just need more time in this area before we can kind of confidently take a long. That's my personal opinion. But yet, the longer you stay here, the more likely it is to break down too. So I think at the end of today's trading day, we're going to have a pretty definitive direction. This trend line will be tested one way or the other, and we'll go ahead and see what that looks like. But the Ichimoku cloud is telling us we have some support here. Again, you see this happen a lot. The ascending trend runs concurrent with the cloud. That's why the cloud is very helpful. When you start breaking within it, which we tentatively are, we're basically testing the upper lead. You don't want to consider a trade either. Also, lagging span is within the price action, conversion line, baseline are intersecting. This is literally the biggest transition you could see here, letting us know that there is no trade to take right now. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry, you're probably in the wrong place. And if you appreciate that, I appreciate you too, for just being a sound mind and bodied person without acting on your little heart that feels offended when somebody tells you the price isn't going to go up. So anyways, that's just kind of it. I hope that makes sense. Thanks so much again for watching. If you want to become a better trader, once again, obviously cryptocash.tech is the site. We have a lot of members coming over, so I would recommend making sure that you read through my trade alerts. I typically give you heads up on trades we're planning to take, like our ICP short from 795 or 792 yesterday, currently in profit, and handful of other reasons. So I look forward to working with you folks. Either way, thanks again for watching and learning. We'll see you the next one. Take care.